Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for people who know what dogs sound like. I'm Kagi. Follows her around, goes all the way upstairs.
Oh, yeah. The one with the chicken legs, because no animal can just be a normal animal.
It's a dog. It has chicken legs, I guess. And it sounds like an asthmatic toddler? But is that what you would call it?
It's like...
You're very good. I realized halfway through the movie, I was like, what is that? It's Muttley. It's just Dastardly Dan, you know, from Hanna-Barbera cartoon classics.
Dastardly Dan?
Yeah.
His name is Dick
Dastardly. I'm sorry.
It's
Dick
like you haven't even
Dastardly's a dog.
seen Scoob.
Muttley. Ugh. Like, seriously, we watched Scoob, right? The whole time I was like, that guy, doesn't he have a dog? What's his dog's name? Like, I spent most of the movie trying to think of his dog's name. I'm like, I've seen so many episodes of Wacky Racers that he's in.
I
had a Hot Wheels with Dick Dastardly on it at one point in my life.
I looked him up because Tiffany was like, I don't know who that is. How do you know who he is? And I looked it up to be like, he's in all the cartoons. I looked him up. He's not in almost all of the cartoons. He is not in any cartoons except for the 2 that he is in, and the 1 episode of another one that he's in.
Here's the thing about Scoob. It was weird because they're like, hey, all these old characters that are like Hanna-Barbera properties from 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's just everyone knows and loves these characters. Like, I don't think kids have any idea who I barely know. I was that weird kid who watched Boomerang. That's the only reason I know who those characters were, right? Now Boomerang has like SpongeBob on it, you know, and it's a disgrace.
Don't.
So anyway,
yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to tell her.
Weird. It was a weird choice for a movie. We're like,
but it was so good.
Scoop was okay.
I liked it.
It was a good movie if you need like a 15-minute nap.
Here's the thing.
Kind of just take the nap and then wake back up for the last act. That's what I did.
Would you rather? So which one was better, Scoob, or the 2004 or something Scooby-Doo movie?
Live action?
Or the sequel
Matthew
to that,
Lillard.
where they're at a island resort.
Isn't the first one the island resort one?
Is it the first one?
Okay. Let's do a little digging on. Here's the thing. I don't like scary movies, and I don't like Scooby-Doo. So sure, I've seen both live-action Scooby-Doo movies. They were terrible for me. There's nothing about these movies that makes me like them. Here's what I'm realizing as I'm looking at this. I may have only seen the second one. I don't know. Hold on. Is the first one, is it the ghost guy? Or is that just the intro? Or is that the intro to the second one? No, okay. All right. No, they do the body swap in the first one. So I've seen the first one. There's a lot of scary monsters. Why did they sex up, what's her name?
Velma
so much.
Because we all did it in our heads our entire lives, and they gave us what we wanted, Cody.
Oh, man. I don't know. Remember 6 months ago when people were real mad that Matthew Lillard wasn't cast on the new Scoop thing? They were like, Matthew Lillard is the guy who played Shaggy-Doo.
Shaggy-Doo?
Their last names are all Doo, right?
No.
It's Belma Doo, Daphne Doo, Freddy Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scrappy Doo. Right? I've seen at least one, maybe both of these movies.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, where is I going with this? Oh, yeah, Matthew Lillard, who's everyone associates with Shaggy because he was the live-action Shaggy. They were like, all right, you're not going to do the voice for Scooby anymore. Shaggy-Doo. People were very upset, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you he did 2 movies and then all the Scooby-Doo voices for 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good run, right?
Yeah.
At some point, don't you got to let it go?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like any good voice actor can do Shaggy. That should be one of... That's That's like one of those impressions anybody that can do impressions can do. You know what I mean?
Right? I mean, I can't do it.
Here's the thing. I've done it before. I know I can do it. I have zero confidence in my ability to do it.
See, that's where the money comes in.
Exactly.
Under the right circumstance, anyone could be Shaggy, but only those who have mastered Shaggy on command can take helm of Shaggy. Yeah.
It's like how I can do, when I just do it without thinking, I can do a perfect Paul McCartney impression.
Okay.
And then when I'm like, I'm going to try to think about it, it goes either Australian or maybe South African with the accent. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just straying dangerously close to racist at that point, right? So I just don't.
Here's the thing about the Scooby-Doo movie. Scooby-Doo, the live-action Scooby-Doo, was directed by Raja Gosnell. I'm sure I'm not saying his name right. Uh-huh. This man is known for 4 director's credits. Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, Never Been Kissed, with Drew Barrymore, and Big Mama's House. Who is this man? He's also an actor in Home Alone.
Yeah.
So, here's the weird thing about Scoob, the animated movie. Scooby-Doo doesn't talk, right? But then in Scoob, he does. He just says, like, Ruh-Roh and Shaggy, right? He doesn't just, like, speak a lot of dialogue, right?
He talks in the cartoon, yeah. He talks a lot.
He talks a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
I've seen at least 2 and up to 3 Scooby-Doo movies. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
As a rebuttal to your 2 to 3 live-action movies, my wife recently went back and started rewatching, or not rewatching, well, rewatching, but more just putting on in the background, the original Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Mystery Incorporated? Mm-hmm.
It's just Scooby-Doo, I think. But
Mystery Incorporated, The Revenge?
The little niece and nephew, they love it, so it's always on whenever they're down there. He does talk quite a bit.
Here's my problem with it. I don't think Scooby-Doo is good. I don't think it's good.
I mean, it's whatever. You know, it's one of them old cartoons. It's got some classics. You know? Some classic stuff.
So, what would you, if you wanted to give us a brief summary of Howl's Moving Castle?
Yeah, I was going to say,
30 seconds
how
or
mad
less.
are the people who are like, Howl's Moving Castle, finally, my favorite movie all time. First, 10 minutes or something?
Only 8 minutes, sir.
All about Scooby-Doo. So, Howl's Moving Castle?
But like Scooby-Doo and Dick Dastardly, are they, I understand they're in the Hanna-Barbera verse, right?
Yes.
Because they're both Hanna-Barbera properties. But did they ever actually... Like, Dick Dastardly isn't a Scooby-Doo villain. It's like they're trying to make a Hanna-Barbera verse for kids' movies, and that's what Scoob was. They were like, look, we're rebooting Dino Dog, we're rebooting whatever the bird guy's name is.
Falcon Man.
That's not... There's no...
Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon, of course. And Dick Dastardly. It was just, I don't know, right?
Here's what I think. I think somebody thought... We have numerous seemingly valuable properties, but we're not going to make a Dick Dastardly. What's the cartoon that was Dick Dastardly and the Falcon guy?
No, I think they're separate cartoons.
You're right, they are. But like, you're not going to make a movie about those because nobody but your parents are going to know about that. So they're like, we'll make Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo's still relevant, and we'll use these guys that... You know, parents will recognize, and most people can probably be like, I've seen that guy in a cartoon before. Because even if you haven't seen the cartoons, you've seen it used like in a Wendy's commercial or something.
Here's where I'm wrong. Okay, he's a Hanna-Barbera character who appeared in various things. Because he was in Wacky Races, like I told you. He was in Scooby-Doo. Yeah. He also had his own show called Dastardly and Muttley in their flying machines. Mm-hmm. He's also in Yogi Bear cartoons, Yogi's Treasure Hunt.
Yeah.
which ran for 3 years. So,
But if this is where I got caught. If you dig in he's in like one episode of those shows.
yeah. And here's the thing. Based on this credit, he's actually only in Scoob. That's the only Scooby-Doo product. I'm confused.
I don't think he's actually...
Is he a Yogi Bear villain that's just in Wacky Races?
No, he was... I think a few episodes he was a Yogi Bear villain. Maybe more than one. Possibly only one. So Howl's Moving Castle is about wizards and witches, right? Howl,
Yeah.
this hot boy, has a castle. They all think... Here's the thing. They're in a world that there's witches and wizards doing stuff.
Yeah.
They think they eat hearts. They don't, but they do. I don't know. Anyway, there's this girl. She sees the castle. They're like, hey, we saw the castle. And I'm like, watch out. Then Howl's there. Then they fly. Then they're not flying. Then they're in the castle. Then there's a fire that talks. And then there's a lady with some aggressive neck fat. You know?
Yeah.
There's World War 17 or whatever. I don't know what war they must be on in the... I almost said Kojima verse, but it's the Miyazaki verse, you know?
Yeah.
And in the end, you know, everything's all sunshine and rainbows. Except for the love between Miyazaki and Mini Miyazaki, a.k.a. Miyazaki's son, also named Miyazaki because that's his last name.
Yeah, it's a family name, otherwise known as a surname, otherwise known as Daddy's name.
That's the point. The point I want you to draw from this is that he's good at making the movies and bad at being a dad.
Bad at being a dad.
Which I don't think anybody will argue with that statement.
Yeah, look.
I don't think
he's
he would
just
argue.
like Walt Disney, right?
Yeah.
He's good at making movies, but he smokes. You know?
Yep. What?
Walt Disney smoked, right?
Right.
But he also made some good movies.
Correct.
Miyazaki also smokes and is also pretty good at making movies.
Yeah.
See? The parallels. You see the parallels?
Also, Disney publishes his movies in the West.
Yeah.
Did they smoke together? Were they
Perhaps.
possible lovers at one point? Probably not.
Perhaps Miyazaki learned to smoke from Walt Disney.
You know.
So, Tyler, this was your maiden voyage on Howl's Moving Castle. What were your first impressions?
I liked it. The castle. Here's the thing. In my mind, there's the Yu-Gi-Oh card with the castle and the magic ring about it. In the episode where that appears on the field as a Yu-Gi-Oh card, as a hologram, as a card placed on the holographic deck, which then becomes a hologram of a castle. Okay. Has a ring around it. They break the ring. That doesn't work on the real card. How dare you? That's not in the rules. Anyway, getting away from the point. That's what I thought Howl's Moving Castle was.
Yeah.
Which you said that is more akin to Castle in the Sky.
Yes.
Which that's when I realized my entire life, a.k.a. the past 15 years, right?
Uh-huh.
I have thought Howl's Moving Castle was Castle in the Sky.
It gets a little more confusing because I think when it was first released, it was called Laputa, which is the name of the castle in the sky.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a whole other dimension to
What's the
it.
deal with these movies coming out and having like 4 names within the first year of them coming out?
I don't know, man. These translators, they be wildin', you know?
Also, I thought this movie came out in like 1997, and it came out when? I'll tell you, 2004.
2005. Oh, dang it. Well, I think the Japanese version came out in 2004. I think the English version was 2005, or at least that's when it came to the UK.
I see you stretching those facts to
Okay.
be right.
Here's my thoughts. This is a pretty good movie. It's very good. All right, I liked it. Okay? It's good. It's a good one. I think a lot of Miyazaki movies are a little confusing. And I think this one more so than others. I think there's more question marks, throughout it. And there's like, why is that happening? I don't quite... Okay, who is that? But it's good. It's weird because this one's A, is based on a book, and B, Hayao Miyazaki is not the original director of. He came on a little bit into the process. after the other director, I don't know, he got killed or
I was about to say,
quit.
did they take him behind the woodshed, put him down?
So yeah. Because, I mean, you can't do 2 moving castle movies, right?
I mean, he did.
He did.
He can
did.
do whatever he wants.
That's true.
He's Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, he is. That's who he is.
Here's the thing.
Here's my question. A movie that has a 35 Metascore, how does that get a sequel? All right? That's my question. Scooby-Doo, 2002's Scooby-Doo has a sequel. I mean, okay, I guess the answer to the question... Oh, sorry. I'm also looking at the poster for the really cheesy 2009 Scooby-Doo movie. It's like a cosplay of Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. It's the main... Oh, man. It's like the exact... Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Scooby-Doo 2 has a 34 on Metascore, you know?
Yeah. Here's my rebuttal to you. Are you on Metacritic or are you just on Google right now?
I'm on IMDb.
Here's what I want you to do, Cody.
Okay, the first Scooby-Doo is the one where they go to the island, okay?
Okay.
Maybe it's the second one I haven't seen.
The second one is about skeletons, ghosts. Here's what I want you to look
gang
up.
must save Coolsville, come on,
Yes.
from an attack of past unmasked monsters brought to life by an evil masked figure trying to unmask the gang. Oh, what? Is he going to eat their faces?
Yeah. They're from Coolsville. Here's the point, Cody. I need you to look up a different movie.
No, I need you to look at any screenshot from a Scooby-Doo movie.
I need you to look up
and tell me
the hit 1996 movie Biodome. Just
with
Google that.
Pauly Shore?
Yeah, just Google
Fun
it.
fact. Friend of a friend made out with Pauly Shore. Let me tell you the story. All right, so she's a hair model, right? Lives in Los Angeles.
So, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
A hair model.
She's got good hair, and she gets paid good money to get her hair cut in crazy ways and styled in crazy ways for fashion shows and pictures and whatnot. Like, they'll buzz her hair super short and do, like, leopard print hair and then take pictures. So it's like your average model is like, well, I'm actually going to chop all my hair up and do stuff to it, right? But then there are hair models who are like, whatever, I'll grow my hair out long, I'll cut it short, I'll do whatever. Whatever you got to do for my hair, I'm the hair model. There are hand models, ankle models, navel models, okay?
Look,
get with the times.
I know about hand models.
Lobe
I've seen
models.
Zoolander, okay? All right. The hair model thing, how do I get in on this market? Because I would get my hair buzzed.
How do you do it? First off, you move to Los Angeles. Second off, you hook up with Pauly Shore.
All right, let me stop you right there. I've already hooked up with Pauly Shore twice, and it got me nowhere. Mm-hmm. All right? Got me some uncomfortable visits to a clinic, and that's it.
You tell me you've been to the Hollywood Planned Parenthood?
Maybe.
So, yeah, Pauly Shore. Like, oh, the famed... One on Metacritic. 1 out of 100.
Out of 100.
Let's just
be
clear on that.
We watched a video. This is why it came up. We watched a video with the experiment in Arizona. You know, like the biodome, the real biodome.
Yeah.
The biosphere is what it's called. Biosphere 2, actually. Biosphere 1 is Earth. That's the reason why they called it Biosphere 2. Anyway. And so I was like, oh, yeah, didn't you ever see that movie Biodome? And she's like, I've never seen any of these new movies. And I'm like, it came out in 1996. Okay?
Yeah.
So then I looked it up. I was like, oh, we should watch it sometime. And I saw the one, and I said, maybe we shouldn't watch this sometime.
Here's what I know about Pauly Shore. He will hook up with you if you're a fan of his and you catch one of his shows at a comedy club. I know that for a fact, okay?
Yeah, so do I.
Number 2, he is a gem in Encino Man. Is Encino Man a great movie? Arguably not. Is his character just a pure bundle of joy? Sure. Is Sean Astin in that movie? Yes. Is Brendan Fraser in the movie? Yes. Is it worth watching at 2 in the morning? Certainly. My favorite quote, the end. Okay, let me take you back to the end of the movie Encino Man.
This is such
All
a
right,
good movie for us
the
to just not
Encino
talk
Man,
about.
who was Brendan Fraser, who is a caveman who has been discovered, frozen, and brought back to life in modern day Los Angeles. They go to Six Flags. It's a great time. Okay. Yeah. At the end of the movie, they're in a fight. Encino Man is lost or something, or they're out in the middle of nowhere. And Sean Astin's very mad at Pauly Shore, and he says, all you care about is nugs and grindage, which is a 90s term, I believe, coined in the movie Encino Man for something cool, all right? It's a great film. That's the peak of the drama. There is a lady caveman at the end of the movie for Encino Man to hook up with. 10 out of 10, you gotta catch this movie. Encino Man, Brendan Fraser, Pauly Shore, Sean Astin. Where else are you gonna get these three together? So how are we gonna get to Spoiler Town, Tyler?
We're gonna hop on my little wasp jet ski in the sky thing. And just hop right on the back there. Don't get touched by the propeller wing thing. No.
Yeah.
We're just gonna fly off into Spoiler Town.
This is the least we've talked about a movie.
It's a good movie too that I actually have notes for.
It's a shame because it's a great movie. Okay, here's the thing about Howl's Moving Castle. I've seen almost all of Hayao Miyazaki's movies. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is not my personal favorite, but it is the favorite of most women I found. Okay. When there's a woman who's a Miyazaki fan, I would say 7 out of 10 times this is her favorite movie. The other 3 out of 10 times it's Spirited Away. But that's because like most people that's their favorite. And you know why, I know why. Let's just say it together. Howl is a daddy. Yes.
Yeah.
That is why. All right?
Yeah,
He's sex on a stick. He's sex in high-waisted, slim trousers and a big puffy shirt, all right?
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
It's very puffy. I do have a note that just says, oh, he's very hot.
Yeah. Isn't it funny when there's like a cartoon and you're like, sexy cartoon, yeah. They did it. Someone spent a lot of time really thinking about how to up the sex appeal of this animation, and they did it.
Yeah.
If there's anyone who can do it, it's the Japanese.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Cody. Every single Miyazaki movie takes place either right before or right after or in the thick of World War something.
Oh, there's always a big... Okay. I'm trying to think of a movie without like a big war in it.
It's like he can't tell a story that doesn't rely on the war.
I mean, My Neighbor Totoro? Spirited Away.
But why are their parents gone? The war.
Yeah, I mean, I think every other movie features a major war. Kiki's Delivery Service.
But is there a war going... That's the thing. The story doesn't have to rely on the war. I shouldn't have said that. I'm saying...
There has to be a war happening.
There has to be a war that is referenced.
Pompoku, essentially, yes. House Moving Castle, of course. Princess Mononoke, yes. Porco Rosso, yes. Laputa, Castle in the Sky, pretty much. I mean, yeah. It's all there. It all checks out.
Is Japan always at war?
I
don't think they're at war now.
I think that country was hit so hard by World War II that every animator in Studio Ghibli's like, yeah, I'm still thinking about it, so it's in my movie. You know?
Yeah.
Or something.
I mean, they did, yeah.
It's kind of like Disney movies, how the parents are always dead. Yeah. Japanese movies, it's always a war, you know?
Yeah. They were, yeah. I'd say they got hit hard by World War II might be a bit of an understatement.
Well, how would you put it?
Have you ever seen the meme where people do where when Homer and Bart are hitting each other with stuff? And it's Bart about to hit Homer in the bathtub, and it's Japan with Pearl Harbor, and then it's Homer about to like hit Bart with a car or something. And it's like the U.S. with 2 nukes.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's like, oh gosh.
I heard a crazy story about that. And it was like in the 60s, Japan gave like an honorary award to General LeMay, who was like the Air Force commander, who was like, we're just so glad you guys dropped those bombs to get us out of that war before we dragged it on for 5 more years and had bigger house. Like, Japan, you guys are massacre. Don't give this man an award who dropped 2 nukes on you.
I have seen that a lot, where everybody, like, people would hug the U.S. troops when they showed up because they're like, oh my gosh, it's over, because so many of them didn't want it.
Well, it's interesting because, like, when you think about it, it's like before the nukes, it was like firebomb, 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 and they're like, this is terrible. Like, they specifically designed the firebombs in World War II for Japanese villages. They were like, what are Japanese houses made out of? Let's make napalm to burn them all down. I was like, oh, this is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that napalm was invented in Harvard? They used like the Harvard soccer fields to do the like tests for napalm.
Nice.
Isn't that fun?
Nice. Did you know when they sent home all the prisoners of war, they sent them home through?
What?
They sent them home, like they made them go. They would send them through Hiroshima.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, because they were like, don't stir stuff up. And it was like, that's very, I guess that, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
To be fair, I guess, it worked.
I probably witnessed the greatest scene of toxic masculinity ever in a cartoon in this movie. Remember that? Let me take you all the way back to the beginning of this movie. Sophie works at a hat shop, right? Or is it dresses? Or is it dresses and hats?
You call it a dress shop, but it was a hat shop.
Hat shop, all right. She's walking away from the hat shop, as you do, whenever your hat shift is over.
Yeah.
A couple, like, soldier boys from the guard or the military or...
from the war dudes.
The warmen. They're like, oh, who's this little mouse? I'm like, oh, this little mouse looks thirsty. I was like, no, stop. And then you're like, oh, you're scaring her. Your mustache always scares the ladies. And then the mustache guy is like, oh, I think this little mouse is scary, or is like cuter when she's scared. I was like, please stop. I'm not a woman. I don't like it. I don't want it. No, it was awful.
Yeah. I think that was the point.
I mean, I know it was the point, but...
To be fair, as well, fair to the sending prisoners of war home through Nuketown, fair to writers making bad soldiers.
If you play... Not badly written. Look, if your main acting credit is Shaggy... Where do you go from there?
I'll tell you where you go from there. You could be a serial killer on Criminal Minds.
Is Matthew Lillard, does he play a serial killer? Oh my goodness, okay.
My wife told me about this. He plays a former serial killer who trains an apprentice serial killer. So I'm like, so you watched Shaggy teach a kid how to drown cats? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, oh gosh. So anyway, more about so here's the thing, Cody. He's very hot. The walking animation, when they're walking away from the scene you just spoke about, is the smoothest animation I've ever seen in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I want it just on loop forever.
Yeah.
I want to get lost in that scene.
It is beautiful. The movement in this movie is quite beautiful.
So smooth. So beautiful. Also, he drops her on a balcony, and they're like, oh, you are on the balcony. He could have killed you.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was an interesting introduction, too, because all the town people are like, it's a good thing that wasn't Hal. He would have eaten your face. Everyone... It was an interesting way to be like, paint Hal as a bad guy, but then he is Hal,
Yeah, the hot guy was Hal, which I never for one second didn't think it was Hal.
Right.
But here's they talk about him like witches and wizards. They'll get you. They'll eat you up. And then they're like, but in other towns of equal size, they're like, all right, go down to the local wizard and get a potion. And it's like, so, is it just this town?
That's what I wonder. Did he have... No, he didn't have a shop in that town until later.
Yeah.
So maybe it is that town. It seemed like a smaller town right on the edge of the waste. And they have the Witch of the Waste. So, like, that's their, the wasteland or, like, the countryside. What would you call it? The boonies? The fields, the valleys, the waste. They call it the waste.
They call it the waste.
Anyway, what I'm saying is they've got this bad witch, right, in the waste, and she even comes into the hat shop and harasses Sophie and then puts a curse on, and so I think maybe they're always scared of the witches and wizards, whereas some of the other towns, it's like, oh, yeah, the czar of the town commissions all the wizards in the city, and they have shops, and you can do whatever, and then in wartime we call the wizards in, and they serve in the military. Yeah, so I mean, maybe the bigger cities are more open to it.
Yeah. So the Witch of the Waste is
more like
fat.
Witch of the Neck. I didn't see a waist on her. It was just, she's 80% neck.
She's all neck.
Mostly giblets, I would say. Like,
yeah. So in her little thing, so she's got her little carriage thing, which is very small, but she appears to be bigger inside of it. So is that her shrunk down, or does she make herself bigger once inside the carriage?
Water, when it's a liquid, it takes up less volume than when it's a solid, it's ice. I think she can contract and expand her giblets to fit whatever space she needs.
Yeah. That makes sense. So...
Yeah.
She cursed it. Here's the thing. Did she curse Sophie because Howl saved her?
Oh, that's a good point, and that's probably it. Because she was all heartbroken over Howl. And so I think that's probably the reason why she came in the hat shop, and then Emily Mortimer was rude, stood up to her or whatever, and that's why she's like, oh, you stood up to the Witch of the Waste? Boink, curse. I did like that one of the points of the movie is like, when you're cursed with something, usually they curse you so you can't talk about your curse. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. It was a smart way to curse somebody.
It's smart. And also she's like, take it off me. And she's like, I only know how to make the cast the spell. I don't know how to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, and they have their little stair race, but that's later.
Oh, that's much later. Here's my only criticism of this movie.
No,
I do have one. Did you notice, and maybe it was mostly in the beginning of the movie that I noticed it, but it seemed to me like the music was a little intrusive. Like, it was a little over the top and getting in the way of me watching the movie in a couple points. Did you notice the music at all in this movie?
I definitely noticed it, but you're much more sensitive to the music in movies than I am.
Yeah.
I usually don't notice it at all.
This is the man who purchased a record of a video game soundtrack.
Oh, let me tell you, folks. I have the collector's edition, red, super cool, lots of demonic symbols all over it. Doom original game soundtrack.
Yeah, you do.
On vinyl.
Yeah.
It's the only record I've ever purchased for myself.
Very special.
I spent $53 on it.
Stop.
And I don't regret it for a second.
I almost spent $90 on a record, and then I stopped myself. It's probably for the best.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What's the point of buying the Doom soundtrack if you're not going to buy this version of it?
I mean, you make a good point. Yeah.
That'd be like buying Pet Sounds on 8-track.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be like buying the mono version of Pet Sounds, not the remastered stereo version of Pet Sounds.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I looked up like cool one because I was like, oh, I could get into getting like records like this one. So I tried to look up cool ones. Here's what it gave me: a bunch of ones that are $1,000 a piece, ones that everyone has, or ones that you can order a clear version of any kind of record. And I'm like, this is not what I want. Yeah. I want the Batman animated series soundtrack, which is shaped like a bat symbol.
Oh yeah, and I want I want the voice actor's signature on a little card that has the serial number of the record.
Yeah. Did they do that for the Batman one?
I mean, they do stuff like that. Like, I've got a Kendrick Lamar record that has, like, in gold Sharpie written the record number because it's, like, collector's edition. I'm like, someone hand wrote this. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so special.
Here's the thing. You said I was more hipster than you for owning this record.
Yeah.
You also own a colored plastic record.
Of what?
I don't know. Isn't one of, like, Kendrick Lamar's...
Okay, well, I
See
have
Clear or something?
I have the collector's edition of Damn, which is in reverse track order, and it's a clear vinyl. Whereas sometimes there's like opaque vinyl, it's like white or clear vinyl, but this one, like, you can actually see through the center of the vinyl.
Yeah,
it's completely clear, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, what's your point?
My point is the Doom soundtrack versus Kendrick Lamar.
What I'm saying is, I didn't drop 53 bones on Kendrick Lamar.
How dare you? How much would you drop on something like that? That's collector's edition.
I mean, it is.
Here, let me share a more disgusting fact with you. The other one I really wanted to buy is the God of War.
Oh.
Which is, again, 2 discs.
Right.
Specially colored and all that. And I believe either 90-something or 190-something.
Oh, yes.
And I really thought about it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get back to you while you tell me more about Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay. I mean, that's my only critique of it. There's some great lines, great voice acting. Emily Mortimer's great. Josh Hutcherson does a pretty good job. Christian Bale, I mean, come on, you know? I mean, that animated bod with Christian Bale's voice, it's it. That's it. That's the one.
It's $160.
Here's my question.
I want it.
I know you do. Here's my question.
Yeah?
All right. You're either hooking up with Howl or the protagonist from Princess Mononoke. Demon Arm guy.
Oh, Howl.
All right. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Respect,
It's not even a
respect.
competition there.
I mean, Howl at the end of the movie, when he's not damaged.
No, see,
But-
you want the damage because I can save him.
I think I can fix him.
Like, yeah, I can fix him.
Oh, man.
He's a good man at heart, Cody.
You're right. Some great characters in the movie. Turniphead, we love Turniphead.
Yeah.
Shouts back and she makes friends with Turniphead and brings back her cloak and whatever. And take care, Turniphead. I'm like, Turniphead's my boy.
Yeah, he's bouncing about. And then you got the real star of the show, Cody. You know who it is.
Well, I want to say it's Calcifer.
Yes.
Billy Crystal as Calcifer. Oh, what a great choice.
Oh.
Because between his voice
Oh.
and the animation of Calcifer,
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite is when he's like munching. They make breakfast over the fire, you know, and they're breaking the eggs and throwing it in his mouth. He's like, he's munching on the eggs. It's just delightful. There's a lot of really delightful animations in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. When he like grabs a log and it's like, Sophie, put these here for me. And he's like eating the logs. I'm like, I love it. He is my vibe.
Yeah. This movie is the first time my wife has joined us for a movie night and watched
the movie.
She
yeah.
loved it. We were talking about it on the way home. That's how much she loved it.
Wow.
About when she scoops the ashes out. Old Sophie. She gets cursed to be old.
Yeah.
Which is they're scooping out the things because she's the cleaning lady. And she's like, Calcifer hired me. He's like, no, it didn't. I was like, all right. And he just accepts it. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, scooping it out. She puts him in the pail, and he's got a little stub of a log. And he's like, no, please, no, please, I need more. I'm dying. And he's got like the little heart in his little butt.
Yeah, because he's holding it with his hands, but then he's like all plump on the bottom because that's where the little heart of him is. Oh, yeah. He's got like a big old belly hanging down.
And he's like just hanging on the log, and
he's
it's
like, no,
spinning.
please. Oh. Oh, it's so cute. He's also a demon.
Yeah. He's a
I
fire
love
demon.
that about Miyazaki movies, and I don't know if it's just a translation up. They're like a demon, and everyone's like, yeah, demons. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, whatever.
Yeah.
I like that perspective.
Yeah. She comes in and he's like, actually, I'm a super powerful fire demon, but hanging out here.
I'm stuck here. I gotta heat up the bathwater. Yeah.
And it is funny because there's points where it's like, oh, he is a super powerful fire demon, and then there's other points where he's like, Hal's up there wasting all my dang hot water.
He's like, I gotta move the castle tonight. Like, come on, you know how hard that is. And heat the water.
Then later in the show where he's like, Calcifer's too weak to defend it, and it's like, oh yeah, the reason no one can find them or get in without their permission is because Calcifer's a super powerful fire demon that can keep them out if he wants to.
Yeah.
And if he's weak, they're like completely vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah, no, that was really interesting. I liked. It's interesting because a lot of Hayao Miyazaki's movies he's written himself, like Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. Like that's when he like wrote the manga for and like got that all set up so he could make the movie.
Right.
And then this one's like, oh yeah, this Welsh lady wrote a book. And that's like the source material, which I think was interesting.
And they're all British, except for Howl. I've heard critiques of Howl. I've heard some people don't like Howl because they feel like Christian Bale phoned it in to the max. But I'm like, but it really fits.
Yeah, and I read some trivia that was like, he saw Spirited Away, so when they offered him this part, he's like, yep, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
He's like sold on it. And I don't think Christian Bale ever like half does a part.
Yeah. I think...
to a fault, he goes all in. He'll gain 80 pounds or lose 80 pounds for a role.
Yeah.
80 pounds of fat, 80 pounds of muscle.
Whatever you need.
He's done it all.
Yeah. He will. Even
and
if
he
you
will
don't
be
ask
very grumpy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the fact, like, when he came down, when his hair got dyed orange.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, so he definitely did not just phone this in and go deadpan the whole time because he's like screaming and yelling. That was really funny too because it's like you're like, oh gosh, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then once everything calms down, she comes back in and she's like, he's just throwing a tantrum, and he's like oozing, like melting.
He's like turned into slime and is melting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And she's like, yeah, help me grab him.
I like the dynamics of Howl, right? And I think we find out later in the movie that, his heart is left his body, and that's what Calcifer is holding on to and is. And just really interesting. I don't know, because I think Howl is he goes between, like, I'm exhausted, I'm dramatic, to I'm totally suave, I'm fine, everything's good, I'm charming. Whatever mood he's in, he does that all the way. And so I wouldn't fault his performance at all. Oh, no. That was good.
I was just saying, I'd heard that before. And I was
sure.
Like, oh, no, this is good. It's so good.
Haters. Who's out here hating on Howl's Moving Castle?
Everybody.
Fools.
I know, right? There's
nominated for Best Animated Picture at the Academy Awards. Did not win. Don't know who it lost to.
Probably Shrek 3.
Sure, hell yeah. Man, the Academy and their friggin' Best Animation Award. They're like, oh, Disney made an animated movie? Yeah, no, Pixar? Okay, Pixar. There's other ones.
No.
Sometimes they're pretty good. Like Kubo and the Two Strings, you seen that? Of course you haven't. It's great.
I haven't seen it.
Anyway, talk about your thing now.
Okay, so here's the thing. When the little apprentice boy appeared on screen, you're like, oh, there he is. And I was like, what? Why are you excited about this? And then he puts his hood up and pulls down his beard.
Oh,
you're like, there he goes. Oh, and I was like,
he's a little boy with a giant beard disguise that does all the wizard transactions and stuff for the people. Yeah. Oh, it's so great.
But he's just like, one moment, please. He's just like, obviously a little boy putting on a deep voice. Fun fact, was it Josh Hutcherson? Is that his name?
Yeah. That's
which right. You may know from other movies.
Zathura.
Exactly. That's the only one. Moving on.
The other ones.
I liked him a lot. He never got taught one lick of magic, though.
Oh, yeah.
Which bugs me.
He was an errand boy. Like that beard disguise is something straight out of Invader Zim.
Yeah.
You ever seen it? Where like Gurr has a little dog, so he zips up. It's it's very obviously a disguise. You can see the zipper, and that's just his disguise.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the movie it lost to for best animated picture.
Hit me with it.
This is gonna surprise you, and I can't decide how I feel about it. Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Remember that one?
Yes.
I love that studio. I think they do great work.
Here's what I remember.
Is this a better movie than that? That's the
Yes.
question.
Yes.
I think it's a better film. But I love Wallace and Gromit.
Here's why I think that
It's
one
a better family movie for sure.
didn't deserve to win.
But that's the problem. I think that's the problem with the Academy Awards. Like, most of the time it's like family. I don't know. People really... I think too many Americans really associate animation with, like, family movies, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you get one like this where it's like, well, it's not really a family movie. It's like a teen adult novel. You know, like young adult novel for girls, Welsh girls, made by a Japanese man into an animated movie. And somewhere in there... Anyway, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep.
Here's what I remember from Wallace and
I'm on
Gromit.
board. What's that?
He is half rabbit, hopping down a row of vegetables, and he says it's a veritable vegetable paradise.
I love it. It's so British.
That's what I remember.
Have you seen Shaun the Sheep, the movie?
No, I remember it was free one day on Google Play like 10 years ago, and I got it for the nieces and nephews, and they've watched it probably 1,000 times since then.
Yeah.
And I've
The Shaun the Sheep movie has a 99% Rotten Tomatoes. All right?
Everyone loves it.
It's very good. And I think technically it's a silent film. Like, there's no dialogue in it.
Because it's sheep.
It's very good.
But is it better than this one?
Oh.
The answer is no.
Oh my gosh. There's a Shaun the Sheep movie last year called Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon.
Yeah.
It's got a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. On the tomato meter, 79 on audience score. When an animated movie has a higher tomato meter than an audience score, that baffles.
Here's why. Here's why, Cody. I remember when the Wallace and Gromit movie came out. This is why it got the Academy Award. I bet you.
Why?
It was a big deal because they did a claymation.
Yeah.
And it was a full feature-length movie done in claymation.
It takes a lot.
And the Shaun the Sheep movies, also claymation.
Yeah.
And they'd go for it.
They do some really impressive effects. Like, it's very all-out.
Yeah.
Same with Kubo and the Two Strings.
Nobody cares about Kubo and the Two Strings.
If you don't watch Kubo and the Two Strings with me
Never watched
right now,
I'm
going to
wanna
lose
do
it on you.
I've never wanted to do it. It's, well, you got Kubo, you got a little boy called Kubo, and then there's going to be two strings, and that's the end of the movie.
Don't forget to give Kubo Kuro's rice. I'm almost done with Sekiro.
Here's the thing about Sekiro. There's a dude, he wants his rice, but
he doesn't even know that he wants his rice, but someone's got rice for him. It's got his name on it. You can't have it. Only he can have it, but he's gone, so you can't give it to him.
Yeah. If you don't give it to him before he's gone, you're not getting it, and you're not giving it to him.
And you're not going to give it to him. So she goes to clean the room. Sophie goes to clean the rooms in the case, like, I'm cleaning everything. And like, everything? The little boy, Markle, which is a great name. He's like, save my room for last. And then he runs. He books it for his room. I'm like, dirty dog. What is in this little boy's room? What is in this little... I'm not going to answer the question. I just want to ask it. What is in this little boy's room?
Dead bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pile of sex workers. Just dead in the corner.
Look, Howl doesn't care. He's not going in that room.
He certainly does not. Let's see. So there's a giant war. The leader, the king, is summoning all the wizards because they have to fill out their contract and turn into soldiers. Except the soldiers are weird-looking birds, but they do have hats. And I was like, I really like that they have hats. And then later they call them like the Hat Wizards. I was like, well, that's right on the nose.
Yeah, they're hat wizards.
The Hat Wizards. I was like, oh yeah.
Also,
they're wizards. They have hats. But they're not like wizard hats, okay? They're little like straw top hats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the thing, and how dare you, Cody? Howl turns into a majestic bird.
Yeah.
The Hat Wizards turn into like beetles.
It's like in Pokemon how you've got like Zapdos, right, and Moltres and all the big legendary birds, and then you've got Pidgey, right? Yeah. Like that's like these are both birds and they're both Pokemon. Very different vibes.
All right.
Articuno, that's the other one.
The only one you said correctly.
Lugia.
Oh, you said Lugia.
And Ho-Ho.
Ho-Ho.
Yeah.
Ho-Ho. Featured in the first episode of Pokemon, but not one of the original 150 Pokemon.
Really? Fascinating.
Yeah.
So I find the war interesting because we're dealing with magic. There's witches, there's wizards, there's curses, and then there's just like a full-scale war in Austria in 1898. What year was what was happening? You know?
Here's the thing. It's always a war that they're like, there's this town, the Imperial City, everywhere else is on fire.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is on fire. That's how the wars in the Miyazaki movies go.
I've heard Vienna is lovely. And that's what the big city reminded me of.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a great place to travel to.
I've heard the same thing, that it's good stuff. It's like if you're going to go one foreign place in the world, Vienna's the best because you can get the experience of like 3 or 4 other countries in Vienna.
And maybe, just maybe.
And Vienna sausages. I stole it from you, Cody. I saw it and I took it.
Okay. So there's a war, right? Propaganda. There's like a marching band, a guy with a drum, and there's a guy spreading. I don't know if you caught this little detail. It was a very short moment. It was like only in 2 shots of this movie. And he's spreading propaganda flyers. He's marching along and just like not even looking behind him, casually throwing fistfuls of propaganda into the air. And I was like, This guy is the mood. I am into this. Like, whoever, I want his job. I'll spread propaganda if I get to do it behind a marching band, just like he's doing it.
I would say he's also doing it very, like, he was giving it 110%.
Oh, there was plenty of panache to be found. Yeah. It was wonderful.
It's all in the whip of the wrist, you know, as like you fling your wad
just flipping them in the air.
Propaganda.
I loved it.
The other side, they're dropping a bomb, and then we're going to bomb you propaganda, which is what? I'm like, I thought I saw that, and I was like, it's almost like whoever wrote the book doesn't understand how that works. You drop the flyers, and then like the next day or the next week, you drop the bombs.
Oh yeah.
They were like, "Here's some bombs." Oh shoot,
that was from us.
we gotta do the flyers first.
The bombs are already on their way. All right.
Yeah, well, it's all right. You know,
send the flyers you have.
Because then there was the guy that's like, "This is enemy propaganda. Don't read it, or you'll be something." I don't know. It probably would have shot you. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, probably.
Here's what happened though. Then it comes back to Howl. Probably. He's a beautiful man.
Oh yeah.
He turns into a bird daddy, which I'm sure turned a lot of women into. So you got furries.
Yeah.
You got scalies.
Okay.
What's the bird thing?
Featheries, beakies,
feather friends. No, that's from SpongeBob.
Well, there you go. I don't have it.
I don't know. If you know,
Plumies.
Write a self-addressed letter
to at Opinion Havers.
Yep. Toss it into the wind. We'll get it if fate decides we need it.
So then there comes the point where Hal's like finally ready. He's like, "All right, Sophie, you're gonna go report on my behalf at the castle, right?"
As his mother.
As his mother.
Yeah, I love that when he's like, "I have a plan. You're gonna go as my mother and say I'm a coward."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, nailed it. How?
They get there. The Witch of the Waste was also invited. She gets there at the same time, and then she's got to walk up the stairs, which is bad. If you're mostly neck, That's bad news for you. Also, there's a dog following her, which she's like, oh, hey, Howl, you must be there. You said you're going to be here, so here you are. That's great. The dog doesn't want to go up the stairs, so she has to pick up, and much like Calcifer, the dog just kind of belly downs, well,
the
drapes
dog,
on over.
I don't think the dog could have made it up the stairs, which we later find, doesn't the dog have wings?
Does it?
It flies at one point.
Does it?
Yes.
Does it just glide like a flying squirrel, or kind of like...
It sprouts tiny little bug wings.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's very quick, and there's lots of instances where that would have been useful, and it didn't do that. The point is, she carries the dog. And what ensues is a granny and a fat lady racing up a flight of stairs.
I would conservatively say there's like 200 steps.
Yeah.
That's a pretty grand staircase.
Yeah.
With like just lines and lines of guards all the way up it, just watching. They're like, yeah.
Well, they're not allowed to help.
This is just another Tuesday afternoon at the palace.
Yeah.
They make it out. Witch of the Waste gets kind of trapped in a room and gets her power sucked away or her essence removed, so she's her true age.
And she's adorable.
Here's the thing. Every Miyazaki movie has the villain that they turn into a little sidekick, a little friend, an ally, right? And this is no exception. She goes from the scary Witch of the Waste who cursed Sophie to like little old grandma who really likes the fire and wants to sit by the fire.
Yeah.
And then the dog, who was working for the sorceress, what's
Solomon.
Her name? Solomon,
Yeah.
the Grand Wizard. They say Grand Wizard, all right? I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not using that out of context again. I have done it before. She's the Grand Wizard.
I think they call her like the sorcerer or something.
They've called her the Grand Wizard, though. I saw it. I clocked it because I was like, yeah.
You're like, finally,
I've said that. I've
say
said
Grand
that
Wizard
in the wrong
again.
context before. And gets there and she's like, oh, I really wanted Hal to come by because he was such a promising pupil, and if he comes, I can help him out. Plays all nice, but I don't think she is nice.
I mean, Hal has seen what she turns the people who actually show up.
Which is
she
bad.
puts her little hat on them, and they turn into
really lame birds
or bugs or slime men.
Yeah.
Any of those.
And then the king rolls up, but psych, the king is actually Howl. Here's the thing, there's a lot in this movie where I'm like, if this was a novel, I think it would all make sense, but because it's a Japanese animated movie, they kind of just throw it in there and let you play catch up.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a confusing movie. Because also Sophie's an old lady, but then at varying degrees, she's a young lady again. For
It's
like
when
moments.
She feels love in her heart.
And then there's times where she's half young and half old, then all the way old. And,
What do you think?
Okay, here's my question to you. Is that the reason why she changes ages? Is it because of the love she feels? Is it because of the love Howl feels? Is it because I don't know another reason? Why is it? Help me understand.
I think what it is, actually, like if I had to guess, like if I had to venture out into the wastes and flop down a guess.
Okay.
I would say that it's probably to do with like how confident she is in herself.
Yeah.
And how beautiful she feels.
Yeah.
And less to do with like, oh, I feel loved or something like that, because that's what it seems like. Like when she's yelling at people,
Yeah.
she's young for the most part. But also when she's asleep, she's young. So I think the oldness is just how she sees herself. And when she doesn't see herself,
Yeah.
because her eyes are closed, then she's young.
That's a great way to put it.
But then she does see herself you only see yourself when your eyes are closed. Because you're seeing the inside
of your eyelids.
Exactly.
Wow, that's deep.
I know.
That's deep.
Yeah. It's like 20,000 leagues under the sea deep, you know what I'm saying?
When are we going to do that movie?
Oh, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? I knew that's what you meant.
Oh my gosh. Bailey loves that one.
It's so good.
I've only ever seen the end.
We'll watch it one day.
Okay. Bailey will be thrilled. Okay. That throne room they're in, though, when they have the meeting with Solomon,
Yeah.
That is a throne room. Let me tell you what.
That is a biodome.
Oh, yeah. Like, Pauly Shore is piloting that thing for sure. It was just beautiful. Flowers everywhere and big and giant windows. I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. You don't have like a big empty corridor, right? You do a big old greenhouse, beautiful room. I liked it.
Solomon, she's sitting there in her wheelchair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then she does some sparkles. Let me show you what Howl really is. Sparkles. All right, now it's time to make our escape. Nothing was accomplished by that little vision she showed, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Except it made Howl look really cool because he just stood there while Sophie was going to fall to her death.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's like, don't look down. Immediately looks down. And I'm like, you're the worst sidekick ever.
Oh, yeah. I love it, like, when they get away in the ship, and then Witch of the Waste, who was the villain of the movie up until this point, and then the dog, who works for Solomon, they just hop aboard, and they're like, yeah, we're coming.
Yeah.
We're good guys now.
And she's just like, I'm not even going to talk to you, dog. And it's like, the dog's a spy.
Yeah.
The dog has chicken legs. This should be red flag.
Oh, yeah.
It goes.
It sure does. I like the little decoy thing where he's like, he split off her thing, so she was like, had a decoy version of Howl went off, and then she had time to go and get away. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The magic was cool. And I like how it painted the magic as like, you went, so, because it's almost, it paints it in the kind of light where it's like, there are people who have the ability to do magic, but you have to go to the school to learn how to do it well. Uh-huh. And I like the indication, because I feel like they heavily indicate that she has the innate ability, and that's why, like, Calcifer will listen to her and stuff.
Yeah.
When, like, other people, he won't listen to them. Mm-hmm. But they never, like, do the thing that I feel like most movies do, which is then she's like, well, now I'm going to be a witch. She's just like, oh, no, I'm just a person that can yell at the fire.
She's Harry Potter if Harry Potter never went to Hogwarts.
And just Harry Potter if Harry Potter was muggles. Cool.
Yeah. And then I really like about the magic, like when they do magic sometimes, like their like hair starts to float, which I feel like is a pretty anime kind of thing, you know? But they did it such like a magical way this time, whereas normally it's like, I'm powering up to do my ultimate move, and so then their hair gets like floaty or whatever. But this one, it was just like, oh, something real cool is happening. You're like, oh, the hair's floating up a little bit. It was cool. That was a nice touch. It was beautifully animated.
Oh yeah,
as per usual. Miyazaki is knocking it out of the park.
What'd you think of the battleships in the sky?
I love the way Miyazaki does it. Here's the thing about Miyazaki. He comes up with the neatest, weirdest airship flying doohickeys. Like, they're like 1890s sci-fi steampunk versions of airplanes.
Yeah.
But then he did the movie The Wind Rises, which is like a very boring movie about like a sick man and a love affair and making an airplane. And it's like, I want my airplanes to have big, flowy, weird wings, or wasp wings, or bug faces. Like, give me that. That's the airships I want from you, Miyazaki. The only exception, obviously, Porco Rosso. The planes in that movie are delightful.
Yeah, but they're also like, there's some planes that are not real in there.
Yeah, there are. That's true.
There's like planes that are villages or something. I don't know, aren't there? And then
there's like big, like warship. You know, like the pirate gangs have these giant, crazy ships and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought is it looked like a creature inside of it with its little fins going.
Oh yeah, it's got the big like wavy fins,
and then the tiny ones on the side, as well as the big ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't notice the tiny ones. I was too mesmerized by the big
tiny
ones.
ones are the ones that looked like that. There's something inside of there.
Yeah,
and that's attached to
like
those.
It's like there's a centipede that you built a ship around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we got your old lady. She's on the ship, and then where are we at here? Turnip Man's there, Howl's there, and then the Witch of the Waste is like, "Oh, what a handsome man." My question is, was she talking about Howl? Was she talking about Turnip Head? She looks at both of them and she says, "What a handsome man."
Both. Probably Turnip Head.
Yeah.
I thought it was Howl at the time, but you're making good points.
I'm making good points.
I'm going to concede, Cody. You're right. I was dumb. I will concede my professional movie critic license to you.
Thank you. I take your license and I consume it.
Yes. Much like my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is my heart.
Yeah, it is. We're now the same person.
Yeah. You are now my Calcifer.
Some other things I love about this movie. Markle, who's just like, I like in the beginning he's so rude to her. And then like by halfway in the movie, he's like, "Grandma, I love you." Like they're like best friends.
Yeah.
Markle wears a nightgown to bed. Did you know his pajamas?
Yeah.
There's this, it's just so precious.
It's a night shirt.
He wears a night shirt. I love it. It's so adorable. Also, how about that magic blunt that Solomon sends, and then the Witch of the Waste is like, "Sounds good," and just lights up this fat stogie.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be something to do with like her, like she sniffed the potion before she got out to do the stare thing. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be like, oh, this is going to give her powers back and she'll be evil. And then like halfway through, I'm like, so it's just a cigar.
Yeah.
And like a little spy bug that she fed to Calcifer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, after Howl brings him back to life, he's like, she fed me something gross. I don't like it. And it's like, you almost died.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's so tiny and cute.
Yeah. We love Calcifer. I like the revelation. They talked, because someone talked about like a boy swallowing a star at the beginning of the movie. They also talked about the Lost Prince. Turns out that's Turnip Head. I was like, oh yeah, that's not a B plot. Maybe like an E plot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, by the way, we mentioned this once, paying it right off. Okay, there's some. I don't want to spoil any other Miyazaki films, but there's one or two other ones where they're like, by the way, we mentioned this once, paying it off right now. It's part of the main plot. You're like, what? I didn't even clock that as being a thing.
Yeah,
and now you're just saying it like it was the thing of the whole, like, whereas normally in a movie they would have referenced it 4 times. At the very end, they pay it off. You're like, by the way, that's what we've been doing the whole time. You're like, what was all the other stuff we were doing? Is there more to the Lost Prince thing? Or did you just
I wonder if there is in the book. And they were just like, oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. Turnip Head's a human. Oh, he's back.
And then Turnip Head's like, "I love you, Sophie. Your kiss saved me." And it's like, wait. No, you guys aren't in love. That's not even you and Howl.
No,
right?
Maybe he loved her.
He loved. Okay, but here's the question. He says like, "True love's kiss saved me." And you're like, is this a fairy tale? What is happening?
Yeah.
Who's true love, and for who or what? Right?
It was his true love.
His true love for her, or was it because she had true love and kissed him? Was it true platonic love? Was it brotherly love?
I would say it's the kind of love that you have for like your favorite sock, where you'll wear it when it has 2 toe holes.
Yeah,
because you just don't want to get rid of it.
That's pure. It's pure.
It's pure. It's unconditional.
Yeah, that's it. We cracked it.
Yeah, and then she's sitting there like, "Well, I got this friggin' mentally broken wizard when I could have had a prince." And it's like, well, I can't dump Howl. We know he'll destroy the planet if I do that.
Yeah.
So we got to stick with him.
Yeah, I like that she sees the vision, right? Of, oh, this is Howl's origin. This is how Calcifer came to be, and Howl needs his heart back. And that sets Calcifer free. Of course, he comes back because we're all pals. We're like a little makeshift family now. So he's not going anywhere, which is really sweet. I like that at like a nice ending because it gets a little dark, between the war and Howl melting and being a bird, not being able to turn back. And there's a giant war, and we're,
Yeah.
It gets pretty dark, pretty serious movie. It's not a kid's movie by any means.
Yeah. Here's what they did, and I love it. They did the creepy bird neck thing, where it's a human face on a creepily long owl bird neck.
Kind of like Princess Mononoke. There's that the spirit of the forest, wherever has like that real long neck and then the head, and it's
Yeah.
like that.
Or like in Avatar: Last Airbender when they go into the library and there's the owl that can stretch its neck for like 3 miles, and it's like, oh no, I don't like it.
Oh yeah.
And then you see, here's the thing, Cody. Owls, I feel like a lot of time owls can be cute or cool. But there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, look at this cute picture of an owl. And it looks like a demon.
Yeah.
They're like, it's so cute. And I'm like, it's not cute. Like, have you seen the picture of the dude that's like the biggest owl on Earth, which is the size of a toddler when it is a toddler, and it lived outside of his window? And he's like, yeah, they like watching TV. They're so cute. And I'm like, I would move.
I've seen some owls from like other countries. It might have been a Japanese one, or might have even been like Madagascar. But they're like, "Look at this fun." I was like, "That thing is too big, and the angles on his face make it look like a demon." You're like, "That is terrifying."
Yeah. But this one had Howl's face.
Yeah.
Also, probably wasn't. It was more like a dinosaur falcon.
Yeah.
He was like a falcon man.
So, in the end of the movie, it's a happy ending. Everything's okay, which I was pleased with. But here's what I didn't understand, because Solomon is like, "All right,
Yeah.
How's good to go, I guess. Let's call off this war."
Okay.
So hold on. Here's
Yes.
my question. So Solomon made a war to get back at her old apprentice? Or was it to help him? Or was it just to hurt him? Was it revenge? Was it just hurt? Was it so that he could learn that the true family were the friends he made along the way?
I don't know. It bugs me too. Because you're right.
Did she make the war just so every wizard would have to appear to her, so that Howl would have to come to the castle so that she could... Because he was the one that got away?
I don't know.
Because that seems like the ending, that's kind of what she suggested. Was like...
Yeah, it kills me
all
too.
right, I didn't get Howl. I guess we'll stop bombing our civilians. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just... You're right. The dog calls her and is like, I did it. How's restored? And she's like, you traitor, you...
Do so-and-so.
All right, call the Minister of Defense to end the war.
War's over.
You could have ended it at any point.
My personal beef is over. End the war. You're like, what? I feel like if... Okay. If we do get in a war... Okay, if President Trump is reelected and we get in a war in his term, it's going to be exactly that. It'll be like him and Kim Jong-un are like, all right, you won. Call the dogs off. Like, people have died, sir. What is this?
Yeah.
Stop tweeting.
Yeah,
the
they'll
war.
be tweeting each other. Oh, man. But, I mean, maybe the dog conveyed like, all right, I did it. Also, Turnip Head was the prince. He's going to go home and tell the other king to stop the war. So you tell this king to stop the war. I think he could have conveyed all that in the... Okay? I think he could have. I don't think he did. I think what happened was Solomon said, start bombing the other country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless maybe the whole point of it was supposed to be that they thought the other side had kidnapped or killed the prince.
Maybe the prince was missing.
Maybe that's what started it.
It's like, I gotta rewatch this movie for the 2 lines they say about the prince in the first 10 minutes.
Because I don't remember them ever saying anything about the prince.
Yeah. Actually, because Bailey came in 10 minutes late to the movie and was like, yeah, the lost prince. I was like, how did you catch that? And none of us did when we started the movie.
I got nothing. I remember I looked at the cast because I was like, I recognize who is it? Kristen Bale?
Yeah.
And I saw Prince Turnip Head or Prince Turnip. And I was like, who the freak is Prince Turnip?
Oh. I do think it's probably the most confusing Studio Ghibli movie, except for maybe Spirited Away, which is weird because it's 2 of everyone's favorite movies, but it's also, the plot's a little hard to follow at times, or they just take weird turns where you're like, I thought this was based on a book, because the thing about Spirited Away is, it was not planned. They started making the movie and were like, let's see where this goes. And so at the end where they're like, tie bow on this, wrap it up, throw in some other. You're like, wait, where's all this resolution? That makes sense. This is based on a book. Like, there was a clear script of what the story was and where to go.
Yeah.
But gall darn it, they can animate a piece of fire, and they can make a beard costume, and they can make this weirdest looking dog ever, and we love it. And I'm on board.
So good.
That's the Miyazaki charm.
Miyazaki Jr., take notes.
Take some notes, get good, make a good movie before your dad dies.
Make your dad proud for once in your life.
Once. I found the worst fun fact about a movie I've ever found, and I would like to share it with you.
Give it to me.
Are you ready?
Yes.
The license plate that Sophie's mom's car drives when she drives away, towards the end of the movie, when she's like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know, do the thing. All right, bye." Remember that part?
Yeah, when her mother betrays her for a husband.
The license plate is number 667. Let me tell you, like, you can see how many people liked that fact, found it interesting. Normally, it's like 90% of people are like, "That was pretty cool." 26 out of 78. It's batting a 300 on this one.
That's pretty good for that fact.
I mean, I've never seen a fact score so low, and you're right, that's more than it deserves, but I was like, who put that? They were like, "Oh, by the way, I saw a number on a building, apartment number 17. You're like, you. Why? All right, this is my last note. I need you to get out your phone. I need you to go to IMDb.
All right.
I just need to see your reaction to something.
I'm here.
If you could please pull up the movie and look at the profile of the voice actor Tatsuya Gashuin. He's one of the first few billed for the Japanese movie.
Are you going to talk about his eyebrows?
No. His eyebrow, massive unibrow. It's like it's a unibrow to be proud of, It's like a brow to end all brows.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I definitely noticed it when we were
looking. It's like a widow's peak brow, like it points. It comes to a point pointing downward.
Here's the thing. He has plucked this brow.
To be extra pointy?
This is a manicured brow.
It almost makes a heart, if I'm being honest. Like if his eyebrows came back around, they're on the route to make a heart.
Have you gazed upon the picture of him as a surgeon in a movie?
I'm sure gonna check it out. Oh no!
There's two pictures of him.
Other picture?
One is the.
No! He's an evil surgeon, certainly.
Maybe.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Right?
I don't like that even a little bit.
It's like he's looking at you from underneath a visor, but it's his brow.
I mean, that is an eyebrow made for voice acting,
Here's the thing. He's in Spirited Away.
Yeah.
And the rest of his... No, he's in a couple more animated ones, but most of them appear to be...
He's also in Party 7.
What?
Also in I Want to Be a Shellfish.
So. He's in a lot of movies. Let's see. 28.
All right, that's all I had for you.
All?
Little rabbit hole for you.
Yeah, I liked that one. I liked that fact.
This is a great movie. I think we can both agree it's a great movie. I think it's highly recommendable, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Watch all the movies. Encino Man, Biodome, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo 2, Scoob, Howl's Moving Castle.
Maybe...
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Maybe just Scoob.
Maybe
and Howl's Moving Castle.
Maybe just Kubo and the Two Strings and Howl's Moving Castle. Have you ever think of that?
Here's the thing. I don't have Kubo and Two Strings in my life, and I feel
Kubo
like
and the Two
my
Strings
life's
is easily top 10 best animated movies I've ever seen.
No,
easily, maybe top 5.
Have you seen Dragon Ball Z Broly?
I almost did. Because they were playing at a dollar theater. I went to the dollar theater, like, nah, it's a Fathom event. It's $15. I was like, yeah, nah. I was ready to pay $3 for this, sir. I'm not going to pay $15.
You went to a dollar theater that was going to charge you $3?
Yeah. Okay, dollar theaters don't cost $1 anymore because of inflation? Paramount 5 or Expert Guide, all right? They cost, the tickets are between $3 and $5 depending on when you go.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And anyway, they were playing Broly. I was like, I'll pay $3 to see Broly. And then they're like, yeah, $15, please. I'm like, no, that's not... You don't understand how this works.
Fun fact.
What?
When we watched Princess Mononoke, I saw it in Paramount 5.
Oh, hold up. when I saw Kubo and the Two Strings, I saw it in Paramount 5. What?
Most of the time, though, I went to Fat Cats, which is the rich people theater.
It's like a rich person theater, except it kind of sucks. Like, it's not a good theater.
Look,
it's just normal ticket prices compared to the $3 theater a mile away.
We're talking about Rexburg, Idaho. Oh my god! All right, you guys.
It's like, oh, do you want to bowl? You want to watch a movie? You're like, why are these here together?
Yeah, and sometimes you get the theater that's right next to the bowling alley, and someone's bowling right next to the movie theater, and you can hear them bowling.
It's just...
Or someone's watching Transformers or something in the next theater.
Yeah.
And they've got it cranked up in there.
Here's the cool thing, though. They will bring you a pizza to your seat. That's kind of cool. I've never done that. And I'm sure the pizza's not good. The real ones, they go to Edwards 14 in Idaho Falls, all right?
Look,
it's the only place to catch an R-rated movie in Southeast Idaho, which I've heard actually they're starting to play R-rated movies in Fat Cats.
Oh, yeah,
days,
they are.
Which is scary. It's a scary thought for Rex Burgers, but, it's time. You know, it's here. It's here, you know?
It's happening.
Yeah, I got carded like 3 times at Edwards 14 in Idaho Falls to see American Sniper. I was 21 or 22 at the time. They checked my ID so many times. I was like, I haven't had anyone check my ID for an R-rated movie since I was 18, you know? And they were in it. They were like, all right, let me see it. All right, well, the next guy's going to check it too. You want to get popcorn? Show me your ID. I'm like, all right, this is too much. This is too much.
Here's the thing. I don't think I've ever been asked for my ID when buying an R-rated movie ticket.
That's what I'm saying.
Ever. I only got carded for buying alcohol like twice.
I get carded all the time.
Yeah.
Or I did when I was a young
got
boy.
carded more often at like the one anime, I think it was just anime convention I went to with a friend's wife because he didn't want to go because they wanted to go to the Dirty Fan Fiction reading where it was voice actors reading Dirty Fan Fiction, which was
that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh! If you have the opportunity to do it, it's a treat. You really need to do it.
I take it they don't have a chance to read those beforehand, right? Is it
no, they hand it to them.
Fresh take?
And there's always the one guy who's like, I am 1,000% in on this. And the one person that's like, I went to school for this. Like, I am a professional actor.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what I'm doing. But they asked the card. They're like, how do you spell your middle name? And I was like, and I spelled it. And I was like, I answered it in a way that would have been like, this isn't your ID. And I was like, I dare you to look like a 22-year-old man in the eye and say, you're not 17.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't shaved in 2 days. I'm obviously growing a beard.
Yeah.
And a grown man. Like, what kind of people are you? What are you getting here? It's like 11:30.
Oh, yeah. Well, the light has left my eyes, which means I'm out of energy to podcast. Please watch Howl's Moving Castle. You can also share our podcast wherever podcasts are listened to.
Fun fact: we might one day be on Pandora.
We could be on Pandora one day. I didn't even know they did podcasts.
I
What
did
a
not-
world!
didn't either.
What a world we live in! What a time to be alive!
You're out here, all you people out here. You're getting the notification. Google Play Podcast going away. Switch to Google Podcasts. You're thinking, how am I going to get opinion havers now? I'm way ahead of you, nerds. I've already switched to silver. I know technology. That's what I do.
Yeah, you do.
You got us on everything. Tune in radio. Fun fact, I think if we get on Pandora, we will be available on Sirius XM.
No way.
I'm pretty sure.
The Satellite Boys?
I had to sign a contract to submit us to Pandora.
I love this.
And we may even get a Klarna sponsorship.
What?
It's Swedish for shopping. Hear that, Klarna?
Oh, I've seen those commercials. They're terrifying.
Yeah, you have.
I don't like them.
I've used Klarna. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
You know, if they pay us, I'll sell out immediately, and I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, yeah. You can also reach out at Opinion Havers on Twitter. I'll
Twitter.
respond. I'll even take your suggestions. There's some of you that have been like, I've even thought about making a Twitter so I can recommend movies. And to which I say, stop being a coward and do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And until next time, watch movies.
And have opinions.
Oh, I hear Boo. He sees the cat. I should feed the cat.
Do it.